Hey, welcome back to Own Your Power, the show from FG Own Your Power. I'm Maya.
And I'm Eli. Today we're getting into something a lot of people deal with but don't always name: how bullying causes PTSD. Signs, science, and recovery.
The silent scars. How bullying can lead to PTSD. Bullying is far more than mere childhood teasing or workplace conflict. It is a pervasive form of abuse that inflicts profound and often lasting damage. While many associate post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, primarily with combat veterans or survivors of violent crime, mounting research unequivocally demonstrates that prolonged exposure to bullying can trigger this debilitating mental health condition.
Oof, that's real. This isn't just about feeling sad or anxious, it's about a deep physiological and psychological impact that rewires the brain, making daily life a constant battle. At Finn and Green, we understand that for many, living with the aftermath of bullying feels like carrying an invisible weight. Our mission, founded by Jason Langley, RN, BSN, and Jennifer Langley, MAR, is to equip you with knowledge, strategies, and hope.
And this is the part people miss. We believe that understanding the how behind bullying's impact is the first step toward healing and reclaiming your power. This article will delve into the science behind how bullying can cause PTSD, explore its varied manifestations, and outline actionable paths to recovery. Quote, bullying isn't just painful in the moment, it can cause lasting PTSD.
That makes sense. So learn how repeated harassment rewires the brain and what recovery looks like. Beyond the bruises, understanding trauma and the brain, to grasp how bullying can lead to PTSD, we must first understand the nature of trauma and its impact on the brain. Trauma isn't just a bad experience. It's a deeply distressing or disturbing event that overwhelms an individual's ability to cope, often leading to feelings of helplessness and horror.
Right? And here's why that matters. While a single acute traumatic event can cause PTSD, chronic repeated exposure to stressors like bullying can be just as if not more damaging. The brain's response to threat involves a complex interplay of systems. When under prolonged stress, such as during persistent bullying, the amygdala, the brain's alarm center, becomes hyperactive, constantly scanning for danger.
Totally. Which means simultaneously, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for executive functions like rational thought and emotional regulation, can become underactive. This neurobiological shift can result in a state of hypervigilance, emotional dysregulation, and an altered perception of safety, which are hallmarks of PTSD.
Think about it this way. The American Psychological Association, APA, has long recognized prolonged bullying exposure as a significant risk factor, linking it directly to CPTSD, complex PTSD symptoms, which arise from chronic or repeated trauma. Bullying, particularly when it involves humiliation, social exclusion, or physical intimidation, can undermine a person's sense of self-worth and safety.
Yeah, exactly. This perpetual state of alert, where an individual feels constantly under attack or anticipates the next act of cruelty, primes the nervous system for a fight, flight, or freeze response that becomes difficult to switch off even when the direct threat is gone. This neurobiological conditioning explains why memories of bullying can feel so visceral and intrusive, even years later.
So here's the thing, the science of suffering, how bullying creates traumatic stress. The insidious nature of bullying lies in its repeated, often unpredictable, and highly personal attacks. Unlike a singular accident, bullying can be a daily assault on a person's dignity, safety, and psychological well-being. This chronic stress environment is a perfect breeding ground for traumatic responses.
Right. And for a lot of people, consider the statistics. The CDC Youth Risk Behavior Survey 2023 revealed that 1 in 5 high school students reported being bullied on school property. The Workplace Bullying Institute 2024 found that 30% of American workers have experienced workplace bullying. These are not isolated incidents. They represent systemic issues that expose millions to potential trauma.
Okay, but check this out. For example, if a child is bullied at school, that environment, meant to be safe, becomes a source of dread. Similarly, for an adult, the workplace, a necessity for livelihood, transforms into a hostile territory. The constant fear of what's next, whether it's verbal abuse, social isolation, or physical harm, creates a sustained state of fear that can lead to PTSD.
Okay. And specific forms of bullying are particularly traumatizing. Cyberbullying. The relentless, inescapable nature of online harassment means victims can never truly escape, even in their own homes. Research by Hinduja and Pachin, Cyberbullying Research Center, 2024, tragically shows that cyberbullying victims are 1.9 times more likely to attempt suicide.
Let me put it plainly, gaslighting, this insidious form of psychological abuse,
now recognized as a distinct form of psychological abuse in clinical reviews like that in the Journal of Family Violence, 2024, systematically undermines a person's sanity and perception of reality, eroding their trust in themselves and others.
I hear that. So hazing, as seen in military and sports contexts, hazing involves organized harassment, abuse, or humiliation designed to initiate and traditionally includes physically and psychologically damaging activities. Yale School of Medicine, Bat et al., 2024, research links military hazing directly to PTSD and suicidal ideation, often via double mediation highlighting its severe traumatic impact.
Elder abuse. The National Institute on Aging reports that 1 in 10 Americans aged 60 plus experience elder abuse, which often involves sustained psychological manipulation and financial exploitation, leading to profound trauma and despair. Even authority figures can be bullies. Frontiers in Sports and Active Living, 2024, linked authoritarian coaching to anxiety, depression, and dropout in youth athletes, demonstrating that power imbalances can create traumatic environments.
Oof, that's real. In these scenarios, the victims often feel trapped, helpless, and without recourse, which are critical elements in the development of traumatic stress and subsequent PTSD. Recognizing the symptoms when bullying becomes PTSD.
So if you're sitting with this right now, what's the one thing you'd want someone to take away?
That you've got the power here, name what's happening, document it, and get support. There are 40 plus free tools to help you do exactly that at fgownyourpower.com.
That's it for this one. Share it with someone who needs it, and we'll see you next time on Own Your Power.